time tomorrow, we would have witnessed what they say is the most prestigious presidential and governorship transition in the history of Nigeria. I am Olaoluwa Awe and I can't wait. Today's update will come from Blessing Eiche and Dr. Samanze Idahosa. Let's weigh in their expectations for the transition. But before then, President Muhammadu Buhari has taken the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the familiarization tour of the presidential villa in Abuja. This was briefly after they both observed Juma prayers together at the National Mosque. It also comes a day after the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, took the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima on a familiarization tour of the Vice Presidential wing of the villa. Now to Blessing and Dr. Idahosa.
Thanks for joining us. I am Blessing Eiche. This is the part where we look at key aspects of the inauguration program. I'm joined by Dr. Idahosa Samanze, Director, African Development Studies Center. Thank you for coming on the show today, sir.
All my pleasure.
And it's us as well to have you here because I know it's going to be an exciting show today. Just sit back and relax. It's just a day before the presidential inauguration ceremony where Nigeria's president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be sworn in as Nigeria's 16th president. Now, this is one ceremony that will further concretize democracy in Nigeria. Over 65 heads of government have been invited and are expected to attend this ceremony. Though the Presidential Transition Council did not give any figure regarding the amount budgeted for this event, but it does seem to look like one which is going to be very grand, as expected of a presidential inauguration. But given Nigeria's current financial challenge, do you think a less grand one would have sufficed?
I think governments are thinking people. This has been programmed into the 2023 budget. If you remember, in the appropriation, about 148 billion was set aside for the presidency. And so the cost of inauguration and everything is inside it. So it won't affect anything, really.
Okay, yes, looking away from the cost of the inauguration, talking about security now, the National Security Advisor, while assuring of tight security for this event, did also advise persons who have no business to stay off the Eagle Square. Does that suggest the likelihood of any event that could cause a breach of peace happening?
Well, if you're following the proceedings has been unfolding since election in February 25, you'll find that there's a whole lot of pocket of agitations here and there regarding the outcome of the elections, and some people threatening fire and brimstone on the social media. They are calling for interim government. Some people are asking that Buhari's tenure be elongated. Now, of course, from security point of view, people should actually be preparing to see in case of any eventuality that can happen. People can also gather to protest. So this is sending signal to people who may be mischief makers to stay clear of the venue of the inauguration. But I'm not thinking that there is going to be any breach of peace. But if you also follow normal human development and conversation, Kubler-Ross wrote a book called In Death and Dying. You see, in change management, there's a process that always will take place. You know, it starts from immobilism. And of course, when the election came, a lot of people thought they had won. And of course, they didn't win. And of course, they denied the outcome. Now, a lot of anger in the system. Now, of course, we move to the next phase. After anger, what do you have? People have a kind of depression, and you're asking yourself, oh, it's like we are helpless. And that is where we are now. Given the ruling of the Supreme Court on the PDP case on Friday, that of course they had no local standing to even come to challenge the candidature of the vice president. Then of course the question of the Abuja, the Court of Appeal also ruling that of course it was a frivolous case and APC had won all three cases in 24 hours. Go to show to you that many people of course had gone to that point of depression. So we're going to have relative peace at the inauguration and things will just go on as normal.
Now, this is something that's going to happen nationwide. Apart from Abuja, the federal capital city hosted the presidential election, presidential inauguration. Across Nigeria, you have states where inauguration will be happening at the state level, inaugurating incoming governors or for a second term governors. Now, several visitors will be coming to Nigeria for these events. What do you think would be the implication for businesses and the Nigerian economy?
Well, for us, it will be a renewed hope for Nigeria, as it were, because what you're seeing is that the democratic nations of the world are again congregating around Nigeria. Not just the America, Canada is coming, and also having a couple of European economies also being represented. It also projects for us a kind of expectation we should have, that of course we're going to have better trade with Europe, better trade with America, better trade with Near East and Far East. And these are all the kind of opportunities that is being unleashed for the new administration. So it's a starting point for the new administration, building bridges, making new friends, and consolidating on what the past government had done.
Still talking business now. At the Federal Capital Territory, some places will be condoned all for security purposes, and also have restriction for traffic movements. Now, do you think this will have any negative impact on businesses around those areas?
Well, I don't foresee any negative impact because the area that are being condoned of are not places where business naturally happen. For example, in the Federal Secretariat, there's no business going on there.
What about in other states where inauguration would take place?
Well, as a matter of fact, if you follow trend, you will know that it's actually making business for a lot of people, because there will be a lot of selling and activities that is going to be happening. A lot of people have moved places. Because of this inauguration, some people are traveling. Hotel, of course, hospitality industry is booming. The food industry will be booming. So that will make more money for a lot of people. So I don't foresee any negative. For me, it is always positive.
After being conferred with the highest national honor, GCFR, President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu said he's not unaware of the magnitude of task ahead of him, and he is sure that he will not disappoint Nigerians. So what do you think is top in the minds of Nigerians as regards expectations from the incoming president?
Well, I don't forget that in 2015, when the APC government came in, there were a lot of expectation. People had hoped that things were going to change for the better. And then 8 years down the line, people are saying, wow, well, this is not what we bargained for. And of course, there were a lot of protest votes against the APC. So people are skeptical. People don't believe that it's going to be something that is going to be positive. And this skepticism is what is driving the conversation in town. But you see, that's why the president-elect is saying, I know what is before me. He needs to prove himself. He needs to prove to Nigeria that they mean well for Nigeria, that the promise of change was actually genuine. And these are the things that confront him. So being the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it also means that the very primary business of government, which is to provide security for lives and property for the people, which is being compromised at the moment, is a huge challenge. And then, of course, government must hit the ground running, providing security and making the ecosystem friendly for economy and life to prosper.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dausa Osamaze, Director, African Development Studies Center, for being on the show today.
Always my pleasure.
As it is us. Now, this is one thing you should take away from the show. If you're a business person, you need to strategize where to take your business to so you can cash out during the inauguration ceremony. It is congratulations to every Nigerian, as this is something that will further deepen democracy in Nigeria. So it will be happening tomorrow. We'll also bring you updates on that. Keep watching Souk News. I am Blessing Aiche.
Brilliant one there from Blessing and Doctor. Tomorrow is the D-Day when all our hopes will be fulfilled and our fears gone. While the presidency is busy planning, I hope as a people we are also getting ourselves and businesses ready for this new beginning. Anyways, I'll be responding to feedbacks in the comment section, and your likes and shares are appreciated. I am Olaoluwawe. That's the update for now.